いいぞ
Some days, some nights, some men, some die.
Embrace the shadow.
Yo, how are you guys doing today? It's your boy ZakkuRye coming at you again with another video. Probably one of my hypest videos yet. But before we get into the video, guys, please make sure you pause the video. I'll have everything in the description box and in the comment section pinned. Make sure you're going to Twitter and Facebook and you're following Master and you're following Team Ninja and Dead or Alive 6. If you're on Facebook, make sure you're joining the Dead or Alive 6 group. That's where Team Ninja is releasing these insane, crazy new Dead or Alive 6 change videos. So if you don't want to get caught lacking out on these streets, make sure you go and follow those, okay? But without further ado, let's get into the topic at hand. So yeah, if you've been living under a rock, Team Ninja has dropped some crazy videos, so I'm going to cover those right now. The first major change to Dead or Alive 6 is the fact that sit down stuns have now become fatal stuns. And this is very insane, okay? What's really cool about this is, as we can see here in the Evo build, as we are watching Jaeger, one of the best rig players here, he did the traditional sit down stun, so it was actually in the game. But as we see here, Team Ninja actually updated the game to a recent build, and we can see this new fatal stun animation, which is crazy, okay? And like I said, it's very similar to DOA6 sit down stuns, but the only exception is your opponent can actually break hold out of this, okay? So if you do have 50% dodge on your meter, you can actually use this to get out of sticky situations. So yeah, meter is going to be very important. I think it's going to be very smart to save your meter now, for when you get put in these sticky situations. Maybe it's not always a good idea to just go for your break blow and get your maybe 30-40% combo. Maybe it's best to just, play your game, play your neutral game, do your traditional launch combos and save your meter. When you're getting hit with a fatal rush, the only way you can get out of a fatal rush is by what? A break hold, right? And now sit down stuns, which are now fatal stuns, the only way to get out of a fatal stun is now what? Break hold. And remember, break holds counter mid, high, and low attacks. So pretty much every attack in the game a break hold can counter if you time it correctly. So yeah, break holds are going to be very strong in Dead or Alive 6. So I'm interested to see how the metagame evolves, how it's going to be, how players are going to manage their meter. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy, guys. Oh my gosh, such a crazy change, such a crazy change. Alright guys, now for the second most crazy change to Dead or Alive 6. This is probably one of the biggest ones here, and this one here is crazy, so just check it out. So what you just saw was Brad Wong actually knocking Diego into the wall, but Diego actually got to stand back on his feet. And this is called a wall restand. Now this was actually in Dead or Alive 3, but you couldn't hold out of it. But in DOA4 you can actually hold after you get hit with the wall restand, or you can actually stagger escape to make yourself fall to the ground very fast. Now this is crazy because now you saw that Brad Wong actually got to relaunch his opponent and go into a combo. I popped in DOA4, and as you guys see, you can't do that here in Dead or Alive 5, because in Dead or Alive 5 all wall splats were guaranteed. You can get guaranteed damage after you get a wall splat because your opponent is technically airborne. But in Dead or Alive 6 they actually fall to the ground, and this does seem to be a universal change. Like pretty much every wall splat now will force your opponent back on his feet. I'm assuming you can actually break hold out of this because like Cheap Stevo did mention, he mentioned a really cool point. He was saying that in Dead or Alive 6, one of the stages here, when you get thrown into the crowd, you can actually break hold after you get thrown into that interactable. And assuming that break hold is really strong right now, it gets you out of these sticky situations. One, is safe to say that after you get hit with the wall splat restand, you can actually break hold out of it. If I had to take an educated guess, I would assume after you get hit with this wall restand, maybe you can't counter, but hey, maybe you can. We really don't know. We gotta wait till the game comes out next month. Yeah, this looks really cool. So it does look like they're touching up on a lot of things. Now we see they're changing up the sit down stuns now to fatal stuns. Okay, now we have this new wall restand. Maybe they'll touch up on the ground game. Maybe we'll get 2 break blows. Shout outs to Steven here, actually mentioned that on my Twitter page. You're talking about maybe if we got 2 break blows, which would be pretty cool. Now before we end the video, guys, I had to touch on this one more video, which is probably one of the more hypest ones that I've saw. As you guys see here, it's going to be Hayabusa in my favorite signature outfit. So glad they brought that back into this really new cool Shohei Zuna he has here, and that's so sick. And as you guys saw in the beginning, Hayabusa's move there, the 4H plus kick, is actually a sit down stun, but as we covered in the video, it puts you into a fatal stun now. Oh my gosh, that's just beautiful, man. But that'll do it for me. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I also have a couple more clips here that Team Ninja did post of some really cool characters and some new moves, and you know, nice little combos that you guys can check out. Okay, but with that being said, you know the motto: be safe, take care. I'm gone. See you guys on the next video.
Yes, JTBS.